Welcome to First Baptist Church. I wanted to take a moment to have a prayer to start with. A lot of churches across the nation are praying for the Korean Peninsula and all the fighting that's going on there and possible fighting that's to come. And I was planning on praying just for that as well. Until Charlottesville happened yesterday. So, last night, about 4 a.m., I was rocking Belle to sleep after she had been up several times last night. And had a lot on my mind about everything that's been going on recently. And so I wrote a prayer to God, thinking of Belle and Joel and all these other kids. And I'd like to pray that today for you all. Let's pray. God, the world is splitting into a million different pieces. Lord, everywhere I turn, I see hate and war, prejudice and racism. I look at my kids and I fear for their well-being. And I ask the question, can I really give them a better life than I have had? God, I know you are with me. And I know you are constantly working in this world, but I need to see your people acting like they know who Jesus is. Lord, when rumors of war come from the Korean Peninsula, do we strive for peace? Do we inject a word of calm and hope into people who use fear to persuade us into violence? When we see hate and prejudice and racism at its worst in Charlottesville, Virginia, do we as Christians speak truth to that injustice? Do we speak love to that hate? As Christians, where are we when alt-right white supremacists feel empowered and emboldened to do the horrendous things they did? Wherever we are, Lord, for the love of my children and the generation to come, be with us. Lead them through the valley of the shadow of death and beside still waters. Lord, let Christians everywhere show the world that Jesus Christ didn't go to a cross for nothing. Lord, grant us the strength and the courage to be better, to fight for you, and allow us to make this world more like the next. And God, as always, I pray that you do this. On a happier note, we had Bible school this week. And it was fun. It was really good. You don't usually hear that coming out of my mouth about Bible school, that it was fun. But it was. And we actually have a slideshow to show you, I think, that will kind of show you all the fun that we did have.
With the world who needs him, his love is always
got everything ready and decorated, and also thank you for Sylvia for all the work that she did to put into this and made it really great. So we appreciate that. And as you can see, all the kids are decorated up here in costumes of their togas and wreaths and whatever else they made this week, and they look great. So you're going to see them in a little bit. They're going to sing one of their songs during the anthem. So we'll get to see them a little bit more in a little bit. Another announcement I have is that Operation Inasmuch, we're having a meeting at 2 o'clock this afternoon. An Operation Inasmuch planning meeting, so if you came to the first one, come to this one. And if you didn't come to the first one, come to this one as well. We could use all the help we can get as Operation Inasmuch is coming in on us in October. Any other announcements? Going to our congregational concerns and Thanksgivings, I wanted to let you know it's been a very busy week. We've had a lot of people going through some medical issues, and so I wanted to touch on a few of those. Karen Daly is back in the hospital. She had gone home, but had some problems yesterday, and now she is back in the hospital in Converse. So please continue to pray for her and for Ernest as he's caring for her. Also, Violet Epps was in the emergency room most of yesterday. She was having some problems with some pain in her leg. Linda says she's back at home, and they're going to follow up with their doctor this week. And speaking of Linda, she is having eye surgery on August 22nd. So be in prayer for her. She's going through that. Got word today that Natalie still has not had the baby as of whatever time it is. And so, right, Jimmy? No baby still? You hadn't heard anything? Okay. So, coming in on almost 2 weeks now that she's had to deal with this. So, definitely pray for her. And she's ready. She's ready. So. Also, Bob had surgery. As you can see by his necktie, he's looking good over there, and he seems to be doing good, right? And then Wayne is still having some swelling in his legs from his back surgery, so he is not here today, but sends his love and thanks for the prayers. Also wanted to let you know that a neighbor of Chris and Barbie, Andres Fernandez, is going to be getting deployed. Where was that? Jordan. To the Jordan. And in close to Thanksgiving. So be in prayer for him. He's going through that. What other prayer requests might be mentioned today? Or Thanksgiving?
Yeah. I don't know if Molly said anything, but her oldest son's wife, Jerry Ann Jenkins, was diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Oh, no.
So we need to pray for her and that family.
Jerry and Jenkins. Yes, you had mentioned that.
And I just want to thank everybody, the whole church, for taking such good care of my dad and Molly, especially my dad, in this time. Thank you so much for the food. I got some too.
Well, good. What other?
I mean, I'd like specifically, I appreciate your prayer so much. That was touching. I'd like to specifically pray for the family of Heather Pyre, who is a 32-year-old paralegal who was, and it's almost hard to even say, was killed on the streets of the United States by Nazis yesterday. And as a church, I think we need to read our Bibles. We also need to read our history books. Stuff like this happens gradually with hate. And the church can't stand by and tolerate hate like that. And this girl, I believe, is, I think she's a martyr. I feel for her family.
Any other concerns or Thanksgiving? Let's go to a little prayer. Lord, we are thankful to be in this house. in your house on this day. So there's a lot of places that we could be, things that we could be doing, but we are here to worship, to be amongst your people, to build up the community of faith that we have here. And Lord, our hearts go out to all those who were affected in the tragedies yesterday. We lift up those who are going through things here today. God, allow us to put love in our hearts, to speak truth to injustice. Allow us to reach out to those around us, to encourage, to shine your love on their lives. We ask that you be with us, as you always are. We ask that you allow Jesus Christ's example, through sacrificial love led him to the cross, to be our example that we can follow every day. Lord, allow us to pray as he did, saying, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. You follow along in your bulletin on call to worship as we read responses. We've been claimed by the God who calls us children. We who redeemed have been called by name. As with the Israelites, God promises to pass with us through the water. We will not fear, for God is with us. The rivers shall not overwhelm us, for God is our guide and our protector. Through God's saving grace, the waters that tested us, and our Lord wash us. Great is the fount of every blessing. Ever flowing, ever redeeming, ever claiming us as God's children. Come, let us worship the God who washes us in grace. Would you stand as we sing our full call to worship? Lord, listening to the children praying. Page 380. Please stand as we sing.
The Old Testament lesson today comes from Psalm 46. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth should change, though the mountains shake in the heart of the sea. Though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble with its tumult, there is a river whose stream make glad the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High. God is in the midst of the city, and it shall not be moved. God will help it when the morning dawns. The nations are in uproar, the kingdoms totter. He utters his voice, and the earth melts. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Come, behold the works of the Lord. See what desolation he has wrought on the earth. He makes wars cease to the ends of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the shield with fire. Be still and know that I am God. I am exalted among the nations. I am exalted in the earth. And the Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge.
Would you stand again as we sing our hymn, Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing, page 295. Please sing.
Good morning, boys and girls. How are you? We went on a trip this week, didn't we? Where did we travel to? To Rome. Who did we meet? Paul and Brutus. And where was Paul? In a cave in prison. And who was Brutus? The guard who watched him. And what did Paul do while he was in prison? He wrote letters to who? To his friends and the other Christians. What did he write them letters about? About Jesus and about not being afraid? Did you have to be careful when you went to see Paul? Why did you have to be careful? You didn't want to wake up the guards. Why didn't you want to wake up the guards? They would kick you out. Or they'd put you in prison with Paul. Why was Paul in prison? Do you remember? Because he believed in Jesus. That's right. So you guys learned a lot this week, didn't you? We learned that God's love is always with us, right? And God's love is a gift. Do we have to pay for it? No, it's a free gift, right? And can anything separate us from God? No. Let's try that again. Can anything separate us from God? Very good. Let's pray together. Dear God, thank you so much for all these wonderful children who came to Bible school this week. Thank you for all the leaders who helped to teach us these stories about you and about Paul, and help us to be strong and have courage like Paul did to share Jesus with the world. For it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Josh, I forgot Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Grandbaby Aurora is 1 today.
Yeah.
It's her birthday.
Happy birthday. Would you join me now as we read responsibly our prayer and confession? Most merciful God, we confess that we have sinned against you in thought, word, and deed. We have not loved you with our whole heart. We have not loved our neighbors as ourselves. We pray you, in your mercy, forgive what we have been, amend what we are, direct what we shall be, that we may abide in your will and walk in your ways, giving thanks in all circumstances, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Hear good news. In the name of Jesus, you are forgiven. In the name of Jesus, you are forgiven. Let's pray. Lord God, as we look at this past week, we look at times where we may not have acknowledged your presence in our lives. We're sorry for those times where we did not love, where we did not show grace, where we did not forgive. We're sorry for the way the world turned out because of it. And Lord, as we go through this next week, may we strive to be better. May we show love to those who are different than us. May we show grace to those who need it the most. May we forgive others as you've forgiven us. And maybe, just maybe, the world might get a little better. God, we thank you for this time where we can come into your presence, where we can come into your house and we can worship. For it's in Jesus Christ that we pray. Amen. Just stand again as we sing our offer chord hymn. We're going to change this. So everybody pay attention. You ready? 475. 475. Only trust him. We're going to change 475. All right? Please stand as we sing. 475.
thank you for this opportunity to come together and worship today. We thank you for the many blessings that you have bestowed upon us. And we ask that you help us each find a mission that we can work on that will improve your world. We ask that you take these tithes and offerings, bless them, multiply them, and use them in the furtherance of your kingdom. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
The New Testament lesson today comes from Acts chapter 2, verses 37 through 42. Now, when they heard this, they were cut to the heart and said to Peter and to the other apostles, "Brothers, what should we do?" Peter said to them, "Repent and be baptized, every one of you, in the name of Jesus Christ, so that your sins may be forgiven, and you will receive the gift of the Holy Spirit. For the promise is for you, for your children, and for all who are far away, everyone whom the Lord our God calls to him." And he testified with many other arguments and exalted them, saying, "Save yourself from this corrupt generation." So those who welcomed his message were baptized. And that day, about 3,000 persons were added. They devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and fellowship, to the breaking of bread and the prayers.
1948, there was a statement that was approved by the Council of the Baptist Union of Great Britain and Ireland. And the statement was called the Baptist Doctrine of the Church. And in it was a description of all things that we come to know as Baptists. As part of it, there was a section on what Baptists recognize as sacraments. And the section goes as follows. It says, we recognize the two sacraments of believers' baptism and the Lord's Supper as being of the Lord's ordained. We hold that both are means of grace to those who receive them in faith, and that Christ is really and truly present, not in the material elements, but in the heart and mind and soul of the believer and in the Christian community which observes the sacrament. So there's two sacraments. Two sacraments that we Baptists uphold, and we recognize them as, and I love this phrase, means of grace. In the next few weeks, we're going to look at these two sacraments, 2 weeks for baptism and 2 weeks for the Lord's Supper, because they are important to our Baptist faith and our faith in general. So today we're going to start with baptism. I've been baptized twice in my life. Once when I was 8 years old, and another time when I was 15. Apparently didn't take. That's what I say over here. Both times were very meaningful to me, though. They really were. And typically in the Baptist tradition, specifically the Southern Baptist tradition that I grew up in, people are only baptized once because we believe in this idea that once saved, always saved. That's the phrase that we use. Meaning you cannot lose your salvation. But my dad's family was Free Will Baptist, and they believed you could lose it every day if you wanted to. But from 8 years old to 15 years old, I had this thought come to mind that when I was little, I didn't quite understand the decision that I was making. I heard this fiery evangelist explain that he did the same thing. So I was like, yeah, that makes sense. So I did the same. So being the good boy that I was, I walked down the aisle and was baptized again, and at the time it wasn't a big issue for me. But later on, as I grew up and turned my focus into ministry and started studying these things, I looked at that rebaptism decision again. You know, now, I understand the majority of Baptist churches, rebaptism is sometimes it's a common occurrence. For membership in the Baptist churches, a person from another denomination, they have to be immersed. And it's a notion that people have to be baptized in a certain way. And I don't see the point necessarily, but I understand the sentiment behind it. The sentiment being that we follow the example of Jesus Christ. Where we get into some mixed up issues is because Jesus wasn't baptized as a Christian, he was baptized into the Jewish faith as a Jew. Because for Jews, baptism was a common ritual. It was, instead of being immersed as we do it today, they would kneel down in the water. Kneel down in the water facing the sun, where it would rise and then turn around into the water and rise up where the sun is rising. And it was a step to show the world of what was going on in their lives. It was down with the old, up with the new. And the Jews would do this 3 times in a row. And it would be like a cleansing ritual for them. So anytime they're going on long trips or before or after the long trips or special occasions like weddings and funerals, or even, as like John mentioned, repentance. It was meant to purify oneself from the unclean nature of the world. And John the Baptist, when he was baptized in the Jordan River, he recognized that what he was doing was different. John saw what he did for the Jewish people as preparing them for repentance. He was preparing them to repent. The people coming to John were doing so in order to be ritually clean enough to ask for forgiveness for their sins. But when Jesus came to John, he was perfect in nature. So the question became, why did Jesus need to be baptized? And a big part of Jesus' public ministry is probably shortly after this baptism. So some people see it as a commissioning service almost, as God's Son to show God's love and grace for forgiveness of the world. But baptism means so many things to so many different people. And So the question becomes, what is baptism for us today? Brian McLaren says baptism is rich in meaning. It suggests cleansing. When you're a disciple, you understand that you are cleansed by Christ. For Max Lucado, he writes that indeed baptism is a vow, a sacred vow for the believer to follow Christ. Just as a wedding celebrates the fusion of two parts, baptism celebrates the union of sinner with Savior. For Tony Campolo, he states that in baptism, new Christians become a part of a body of fellow believers. We were called to spiritually encourage one another and hold one another responsible for consistent living, Christian living. For Henry Nouwen, he understands that based on our baptism, all are called to a mystical life, to a communion with God. We need to claim it, to taste it, to feel it, to trust that the deeper we live in this communion, the more our behavior will witness to the truth. For me, at age 15, it was reassurance of my faith. For people from other denominations who become Baptists, it is a way as a symbol to recognize that they are members of that congregation. For Jews, it was a cleansing ritual to help them repent of their sins. But for Jesus, it was a step towards showing the world that he was God's son. So what is baptism for you? What is baptism for all of us? From the Psalm 46 passage, we get this incredible reassurance of who God is to us. It says God is our refuge and strength, very present help in trouble. And throughout the Psalm, there are these natural calamities that are stirring the earth, and we find God. We find God in the city. And the city is beside water. With everything going incredibly chaotic around God, God stays steady in that city beside the water. God is our refuge and our strength. You know, when we see those streaming waters that make glad the city of God, we should think of baptism when we hear that phrase. When our world is spinning out of control, like this past week, and we are at our wits' end, we look to find God and find security. And we look to the waters to find home. Growing up, when we were coming back from vacation, I always looked out the car window to see where we were. We would go up and down mountains and up and down mountains everywhere we go in eastern Kentucky. But my hometown was situated on the banks of an offshoot of the High River. And so seeing those waters out my window, it told me that I was almost home. And this is how we can see baptism for us today. As life tosses us to and fro from all different directions, we see the waters and it reminds us of home. Our home in God's city where God's voice utters, "Be still and know that I am God." We find in baptism this something special that reminds us of our faith and all that entails. It's not simply a symbolic act that allows us to join a church or show our families that we believe in Jesus. It's more than that. It puts us in touch with those waters that stream gladness to the city of God. It puts us in touch with the Jordan River as we see the dove descend onto Jesus' shoulder. It reminds us that God is still with us despite all that is stirring around us. Growing up, my family and I, we like to fish, especially my grandparents. And so we would often go off with them on an adventure to find good places down in the holler, as we call it, that was nearby our house. And one of my favorite spots was this tree branch that would go over this little river. And it extended over the water about 3 or 4 feet. And when I was lighter, I loved to crawl out there. I wouldn't do that now. But I like to sit out there and fish off of it. It was just a neat place to fish. And I loved looking down below my dangling feet and all the commotion that was going on. Sometimes I would just watch and not even cast out because it was just a whole different world down there. There were fish racing to get food and birds swooping down to get the fish, and then the movement of the water from every little bit of it. And so when I got overwhelmed, sometimes I think to myself of being in that underwater world When it's hard to see what's coming next, when we see life as a race to the next thing, or when we get carried from one place to another without any consent for what we want to do. In these times, it helps to realize that God is with us. As we make our way through those troubled waters, God will help when the morning dawns. God is our refuge and our strength. If you remember back to your baptism, think about this. What do you remember most? What do you remember most? Maybe it was your friends or family that were there to support you, or maybe it was the pastor and the words that he said, or he or she said, or maybe it was how everyone was just staring at you and you were kind of anxious about that. Some of those may have been your experience, but hopefully we all remember the feeling of being plunged underwater and raised back up. Because every time I do a baptism, it takes me back to mine. Every time we see one, that should be the common occurrence here, taking you back to your baptism. It should remind us that God is our refuge and our strength and ever-present help in trouble. It should remind you that no matter what comes your way, God will help when the morning dawns. It should remind you that you are God's child. Fred Craddock, a great Baptist preacher and storyteller, tells a story of going on vacation in Gatlinburg with his wife. And they sat down for dinner, and the man was going from table to table, and Craddock was getting a little anxious because he knew he was coming over to talk to him too. And the man asked who he was, and Craddock told him that he taught preachers. And at that, the man pulled over a chair. And he sat down to the reluctant old preacher and told him, I've got a story to tell you. We all hear those. And he told Craddock this story. He said, I'm Ben Hooper. I was born not far from here across the mountains. My mother wasn't married when I was born, so I had a hard time. When I started school, my classmates had a name for me, and it wasn't a nice name. I used to go off by myself at recess and during lunchtime because the taunts of my playmates cut so deeply. What was worse was going downtown on a Saturday afternoon to feel this burning hole through you. They were all wondering who my real father was. When I was about 12 years old, a new preacher came to our church. I would always go in late and slip out early, but one day the preacher said the benediction so fast I got caught. And I had to walk out with the crowd. And I could feel every eye in the church on me. And just about the time I got to the door, I felt a big hand on my shoulder. And I looked up, and the preacher was looking right at me. Who are you, son? Whose boy are you? And I felt that old weight come on me. It was like a big black cloud. Even the preacher was putting me down. But as he looked down at me, studying my face, he began to smile, a big smile of recognition. He said, wait a minute. I know who you are. I see the family resemblance. You are the Son of God. And with that, he smacked me across my rump and said, boy, you got an inheritance. Go and claim it. The old man looked across the table at Fred Craddock and said, that was the most important single sentence anyone has ever said to me. And with that, he smiled and shook the hands of Craddock and his wife and moved on to another table. And then suddenly, Fred Craddock remembered. On 2 occasions, the people of Tennessee had elected an illegitimate man to be their governor, and his name was Ben Hooper. You know what we find in baptism as a way along the river whose streams made glad the city of God. We find this holy habitation of the Most High. We find that the early church, what the early church was founded on. For the early church in the book of Acts, baptism is a way to bring near all who are far away, to become children of God. People like the early Christians, people like you and me, people like Ben Hooper, baptism opens the door to God's city to be something for any and every person willing to wade into the waters. So what is baptism for you? At least I I pray that it's a way to acknowledge God's saving work in our lives. That's a big part of it. Whatever it is, I want to close with this picture. Have you ever been on a lake or a pond, dropped in a rock or a pebble? Notice the ripples and how far they go out. Now, once we go into those baptismal waters, that's what God is calling us to do. We're supposed to ripple out with God's love and grace in everything we do. We, with our actions, we show who God is. We show people that they are God's children. So what do you say to that calling today? Maybe today you'd like to join this church, your membership. Maybe you would like to let me know that you accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. Maybe you'd like me to pray for you. Whatever the decision you would like to make, I'll be down front as we sing our closing hymn, Come On Christians, Be Committed, verses 1 and 3. God is calling us to show people God's love and grace through our actions as we ripple out into the community of faith that we have today. What is your answer to that call? Please stand as we sing our closing hymn. 488, Come On Christians, Be Committed, verses 1 and 3. Please stand. Be sure to come out at 2 o'clock for the Operation This Month's meeting. That'd be a good time to get ready for that October event. Please hear now our benediction. God, as we go, may we go knowing that you are with us. May we go knowing that we are the hands and feet of Christ in this world. And may we go rippling out your love and grace to everyone we meet. In Jesus Christ we pray.